Good morning students and welcome back. Today we will continue learning Political Science, lesson number 2, the electoral process. In this chapter we have learned about the elections conducted in India. We have also learned about the Election Commission and the functions of Election Commission. Now let's start with the further remaining part of the lesson. Now let's learn process of election. First one is establishment of constituencies. Constituency means an area where group of voters elect a representative. In India, there are total 543 constituencies in Lok Sabha. Among them, our Bhiwandi is also one of the Lok Sabha constituency. Constituency is divided on the basis of population. For example, Mumbai is divided into 4 constituencies. Next process is finalizing the voters list. That means voters list is updated, which we have already learned in the functions of Election Commission. Next process is nomination of candidate and scrutiny of their nomination forms. Candidate details is verified and then Election Commission gives permission to eligible candidate to stand in election. Next process is election campaign. After election date is declared, then political parties does election campaigning. Next is actual voting. Actual voting means on the election day, voters go and gives vote in polling booth. Next process is counting of votes. After election over, votes are counted on a specified date given by the Election Commission. Next process is results of election. After the votes are counted, results will be declared. Which political party got how much votes and which party won the election will be announced. And the last process is resolution of disputes regarding elections. Even after results declare, if any political party raise the issue of fraudness, then Election Commission will find out whether fraud was done. And if found election was not done properly, then Election Commission will cancel the election of that particular constituency and will disqualify the candidate. And then re-election will take place of that particular constituency only. So these are the important process of election. Now let's learn the restructuring of the constituency. We have already learned what is constituency. There are total 543 members in Lok Sabha. Every member represents one constituency. It means there are total 543 constituencies of Lok Sabha. Creating constituencies is the responsibility of the Delimitation Commission of the Election Commission. Delimitation Commission prepares the constituency. It divides the area as per the population and forms constituency. If area is less and population is more, then there will be more constituencies. For example, Mumbai is divided into 4 constituencies. Delimitation Commission does not succumb to any pressure. Succumb means to surrender. So delimitation election does not surrender to any pressure of political party while forming the constituencies. That means any minister, government or any political party cannot pressurize the Delimitation Commission to form constituencies in particular area. Now let us learn what is Code of Conduct. Code of Conduct means the rules that have to be followed by voters, government and political parties before election and during elections. Even government cannot interfere and violate the rules made by the Election Commission. So you must be thinking, why Election Commission has made code of conduct? So the reason is to conduct free and fair election. Free and fair election means citizen has freedom to choose the representative of his choice. Nobody will pressurize or threaten him or her to vote. It controls malpractices during election. For example, candidate gives money to voters to vote them or does any corruption. So code of conduct controls or stops such malpractices during election. Due to the strict observance of code of conduct in the last few elections, the common voters have become confident that elections are conducted in free and fair ways. Now let's learn challenges in conducting free and fair elections. If we take into account the size of a country and the number of voters, conducting election becomes a truly challenging task. So let us see what are the challenges faced by Election Commission during elections. The first challenge is misuse of money takes place to a great extent during elections. The Election Commission has to take several measures to stop such a misuse of money. Now let's see the second challenge. Many political parties give election to their candidates with criminal background. This results not only in criminalization of politics, but the Election Commission also faces problems in ensuring that elections are conducted in free and fair environment. Sometimes candidate of criminal background stands in election and then threaten people to vote them, does corruption. So this creates problem even to Election Commission in conducting election in free and fair environment. Another major challenge is violence during election. The extent of violence has increased significantly during elections. All political parties should help the Election Commission to control the violence. During the time of election, lot of violence takes place between the political parties. So this is also the biggest challenge that Election Commission has to control violence during election. The fourth challenge is to retain a continuing influence on politics. Leaders give election tickets to their own relatives. This practice creates a family monopoly in politics. Many a times, political leaders give tickets to their relatives, to their brothers, son, wife, etc. So what happens in such case? The whole family dominates in political system. And even sometimes, the relative is not that capable also for the post, but stands in election because of family support. So this creates influence of family monopoly in politics. Now let's answer some questions. How political parties suffer due to family monopoly in the party? Just now I discussed the answer of this question in the fourth challenge. Second question is, what do you understand by the system of one vote, one value? One vote, one value means every citizen's vote has same value. Though President of India or Prime Minister of India gives vote, their vote value is counted 1. and even common man's vote is counted one only. This indicates all the people in the country have same status. Now let's learn electoral reforms. Electoral reforms means changes in election process. Electoral reforms becomes reliable if election process gets improved. So some reforms are listed. Let's see one by one. The first one is to increase participation of women in politics. The political parties should give 50% candidature to women candidates and try to ensure that they get elected. 50% seats are reserved in Maharashtra for women in Panchayat and Municipal Corporation, and 33% seats are reserved at national level. So at national level also 50% seats should be reserved and encourage women to participate in politics. Second reform is political parties should not give candidature to candidates having criminal background. They should strictly follow the decisions given by courts in this respect. Candidature means ticket or nomination. So political parties should not nominate who is having criminal background. The third reform is the government should take care of election expenses. To ensure that parties will not make misuse of money and mismanagement of money during elections can be stopped. During elections, candidates spent money on campaigning, advertising their party, etc. So excess amount should not be spent, and also there should not be misuse of money. That means giving money or article to people to get vote. Fourth reform is Representation of the People's Act should be amended so that candidates having criminal background would not be able to participate in elections. Now, Representation of People's Act is a law and that should be changed so that criminal background candidate should not participate and should not be elected by the people also. Now let's learn journey from ballot boxes to EVM machines. Earlier, voting was done in ballot boxes. On a blank paper, symbol of political party was stamped by the voter, and after election over, all votes were counted. Now we have EVM machines, that is electronic voting machines, which started from the decades of 1990s. There are many advantages of EVM machines. Illiterate people can give vote easily by pressing the button in front of the symbol. It saves tons of paper which was used in ballot. So it helps in conserving the environment. There is one option given on EVM, that is nota, none of the above. This option can be used by a voter if he or she does not want to vote any candidate. Next is it makes counting faster, which enables the election officer to declare result in a short time. And it is also helpful for the disabled people, that is Divyang people, to cast their vote. Now let's learn the types of election. The first one is general election. Lok Sabha elections held after every 5 years are called general election. Second is midterm election. Midterm election means elections will be held before the 5 years term is complete. Now let's see on what situation midterm election takes place. If the political party does not get the majority seats, then they form government with the help of other parties. That is called coalition government, or government formed by many parties together called coalition government. For example, there are 543 seats and one who gets majority seats is 272 or more than 272 seats. So if any party fails to get majority seats, then that party cannot form government. So to make government, political parties come in support of one another and forms coalition government. After coalition government formed, if any political party withdraw their support, then due to no majority seats, elections will be held before the completion of the term. So they are called mid-term elections. Third one is by-election. If an elected representative resigns or he or she dies, then that seat becomes vacant. So to occupy the vacant place of that resigned or dead representative, elections are held in that particular constituency only. This is called by-election. Students, here we finished learning of the lesson, the electoral process. We have learned the functions of election commission, the process of election, and the types of election. So go through the lesson once more. Goodbye. Take care.